Now your work is to look at the desire and to talk about it and to find the feeling place of it, to visualize around it. Make this desire that's weird in the beginning feel familiar. And as it begins to feel familiar, you begin to achieve vibrational harmony with it until the next logical step is then the manifestation of that new desire. Now you're standing in a new place with a new set of contrasting experiences, and out of it is born a rocket of desire, which feels really weird in the beginning because it's new. It was born out of something that is different, and you are not a vibrational match to it in the beginning. Your vibration is more here, and so now your work is to look at it, to talk about it, to envision it, to visualize around it, to make it feel familiar until the next logical step becomes the manifestation of it, and now here you stand with a new set of contrasting experiences that you did not have access to before. And out of that is born another rocket of desire, which in the beginning feels really weird to you because you're used to vibrating down here. So you give your attention to it, you make it familiar, you find the feeling place of it until the next logical step is the manifestation of it. And now you're standing in a new set of contrasting experiences. And out of it is born another rocket of desire. And in the beginning, this desire is really weird to you because you're used to vibrating over here. But now you give your attention to it, you make it familiar, you find the feeling place of it, now you manifest, now you're standing in a new vibrational place with a new set of contrasting experiences, and out of it is born another rocket of desire, which in the beginning feels really weird to you. You get in the sense of how it works. So when you understand that you never get it done, in every moment there is the potential for the new rocket of desire, and that rocket of desire is the reason that the universe exists. In other words, physical beings often think, well, wouldn't it be nice if we could get rid of all of these contrasting experiences so whatever we look at could just give us a good feeling? And we say, no rocket of desire is ever born out of sameness. It must be born out of contrast. And when you finally get it, that it is the desire that is the summoning, then you start to realize that what life is really about is providing opportunity to give you that desire that will summon life force through you. So there are two things we want you to remember. You never get it done, and you cannot get it wrong. So now as you're standing, evaluating the contrast that is around you, and you feel a new desire within you, understand that your work is to let that new desire rest within you, and your work is to work upon it until you feel the familiarity of it. We were visiting with a friend a while back who has an adult daughter, and her daughter said to her, there's this thing that I really, really want. I really want it. And if it unfolds, if it happens the way I want it to, it will make up for all of the things that I've wanted all of my life that didn't happen. And we said to her mother, when something feels like that, the manifestation is not on the doorstep. When it feels that extraordinary relative to where you are, it is not about to unfold. It must feel like the next logical step. Well, how do you make something? If you're standing here, and out of it you know you'd like to be over there, but you feel so much over here, you say, here I am, I'm over here. I've been here a really long time, and I don't mind telling you I don't like being here. A lot of other people here with me, and none of us like it here. We'd rather be over there, but here is where we are. Do you have any idea how long we've been here? Let us explain to you how we got here. Maybe it would help you to understand more clearly the path we took in getting here. We'd like to be over there, but here is where we are. I think my mother has a lot to do with me being here, too. Or maybe it has something to do with a past life. I don't know, but here is where I am. I'd like to be over there, but here is where I am. Horrible, horrible, horrible place to be. And the universe, which is responding to your vibration, is saying, there is where she is. There is where she is. That's who she is. Align things that feel like that with her. She'd like to be over there, but there is where she is. So what happens is, wherever you are standing, the vibration that you're offering is your point of attraction, and the universe cannot deliver to you something different than you were offering. Well, how do you know what you're offering? You can tell by the way you feel. Your emotions are the key to let you know what your vibration is about. You see, everything is vibrational, and you are vibrational beings, although most of you do not realize that the majority of your experience is vibrationally based. What you see with your eyes is an interpretation of of vibration. What you hear with your ears is an interpretation of vibration. Even what you smell or feel with your fingertips or taste with your tongue, these are senses within your body that understand vibration. You say, well, I didn't have to learn to do that. I was born seeing, or I was born hearing, or I was born smelling. Smelling, not smelly. Smelling. I was born smelling. I was born knowing all of that. And we say you were born with other sensors as well. You have within you emotions, and we want to show you how they work, because here you are as physical beings. You are extensions of core energy. You are here in your physical bodies on the leading edge of thought. You are creators in the perfect environment to establish desire, and then your work is to align your energy with that desire. So here you are, extensions of source energy. And as the energy is flowing to you and through you, you can tell by the way you feel what you're doing with the energy. There are only two things you need to know, really, as you understand these two very simple things. Two things that you need to know about the energy. First, how much God force or non-physical energy or creative life force, doesn't matter what you call it, how much current or energy am I summoning right now? Or another way of putting that is, how big is my desire? How much energy am I summoning through my focused desire? And the other thing, the only other thing that you need to know is, of that energy that I am summoning, how much of it am I in this moment allowing? Or how much of it am I resisting? Now, your emotions tell you everything about all of that. We're going to play with this just for a minute so you'll get a sense of it. We're going to stop on a vibrational emotional meter in 4 places. Actually, there are infinite stops, but just to give you a sense of how your emotions work. Feel the feeling of passion. What passion means relative to the first thing, how much desire do I have? Passion means lots of desire focused in this moment. What does passion, the feeling of passion, mean relative to your resistance? No resistance, full allowing. So passion means I'm summoning lots of non-physical energy right now as a creator, and I am allowing the full dose of the energy that I'm summoning. There's no resistance within me. That's what passion feels like. And friends, that is optimum experience. Now feel the feeling of peacefulness or contentment. Not much desire right now, not summoning much, don't have a lot of focused desire right now, but there's no resistance in my being either. Now feel the feeling of frustration. Some desire, some resistance. Now feel the feeling of strong negative emotion, rage or anger or depression. Strong desire, lots of resistance. So whether you are feeling passion or agony, both of those feelings mean strong desire. In other words, there's something that I've been focusing upon that the contrast has produced within me. I have a strong rocket of desire. The desire always, asked and it is given, is summoning a strong dose of creative life force. And in passion, I'm allowing it fully. And in agony or frustration or strong frustration or rage or depression, I'm not allowing it. Now, what does not allowing it mean? It means you have a rocket of desire that is vibrating on one wavelength and a habit of vibration that is vibrating differently. These habits of thoughts you sometimes call beliefs. In other words, that's what we were talking about earlier. Here's this rocket of desire that is produced from contrast, and it is vibrating here, but here's my habit of vibration, and it's vibrating here. Well, if I got a habit of vibration that's here, habit of thought or a belief, and my desire is here, now there is contradiction within my vibrational range. My energy is not aligned. So as you begin to play with the way you feel, you can tell in every moment whether your desire is particularly focused in this moment and whether the energy that is being summoned by virtue of your desire, whether you're allowing it to flow or not. We want you to realize that your work as a creator is so much simpler than you have ever thought it to be. Your work as a creator is to align the energy within you. Your work as a creator, in other words, so many people, as they're looking around in the world that surrounds them, and they see those things that make them uncomfortable or those things that they want to shout no at, they believe that they have a very big job. They believe that they have to control all of those conditions. Whereas let's make enough laws and let's get enough people to enforce those laws so that we never look out into environment and see something that bothers us. And we say, oh, there's a much easier way of going about that. And that is You do not need to control any of the conditions that surround you. All you are needing to do is to align the energy that is within you. When you see something not wanted, in your awareness of it, there will always be a producing of a clear desire of what is wanted. Because within every particle of the universe is that which is wanted and lack of it. So when you give your attention to something not wanted, out of it comes your clear awareness of what is wanted. If in that moment you would turn your attention to what is wanted and you would try to find the feeling place of that, in that moment you would begin to include in your experience the thing that you are wanting. And in time you can look back on that contrasting experience that produced that desire to begin with and feel affectionately loving toward it, awful as it seemed in the moment, because it gave you the clear awareness of what is wanted. We are eager to talk with you about anything that is important to you. There is no order of business here. We're wanting you to realize that our greatest advantage to you is to assist you in finding vibrational harmony with the things that are important to you. In other words, when you are a vibration, here is a simple way of saying it. What I think and what I feel and what manifests to me is always a vibrational match. And so when you finally realize that your work as a creator is not to look around and find those things that are missing in your experience and then try to figure out how to get them to you or you to them. Your work as a creator is to identify those things, try to find the desire within you. So what we want you to begin saying right now, so somebody says to you, how you're doing, and you say, great. They say, you get that house built yet? And you say, nope. Or, then why are you smiling? Because I have an unfulfilled desire that's continuing to summon life force through me. In other words, the desire itself is what keeps me alive, you see. Oh, and besides that, it's coming. Now here's the way you smooth those waters. When you say, I have this thing that I want, and it is not yet fulfilled, the thing that we want you to feel is that as the desire is within you, it is summoning life. In other words, so here I stand evaluating contrast. Out of the contrast comes this desire. This desire summons life. So I give my attention to it. I find the feeling place of it. It feels familiar to me. The next logical step is the manifestation. Now I have a different set of contrasting experiences which give birth to another desire. So the thing that you're wanting to begin to understand is that the desire that is within you is the most important part. When you begin to take pleasure from your vision, in other words, when you finally get it, that it is the idea and the playing around with the idea that gives you the pleasure, because that's when the life force is flowing through. The manifestation will happen. Of course it will happen, but the manifestation is not the main event. And when you finally get that, then you will start taking more pleasure in the rocket of desire. You will feel less guilt about not having it achieved, and now you're really rolling. Now you're consciously upon this continuum of physical life experience, being a creator, utilizing the energy that creates worlds in your physical format.